Okay, the things you'll need to put together your journal are glue, scissors, tape, and the papers that we're gonna be putting in there today. So you should have a pink paper with your 3 main tabs. You should have a skinny yellow paper with some more tabs we're gonna use. A formula chart, an Algebra 1 formula chart, and then a stapled packet of vocab word pages. Those vocab word pages, we're gonna cut down the middle. I already cut mine. You can cut yours. You're probably not gonna be able to cut them all at the same time, but you can cut most of your pages at the same time. So what we're gonna start off by doing is numbering our pages. So we're starting from the very front cover. You'll notice you have your little pocket here where you can hold pages that you're not done with. But on that very first page, we're gonna number that number 1. Then we're gonna turn and we have page 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through, and you should end on page 200. Take your time with that. I would use pencil in case you make a mistake or skip a page or 2 pages are stuck together. But the first thing you're gonna wanna do is number all those pages. So pause the video right now and go ahead and number if you haven't already. I'm assuming you have all your pages numbered, and what we're gonna do next is start putting things in our journal. So on page number 1, we're just gonna take our syllabus, that front page of your syllabus document, fold it in half. Don't really care how, just fold it in half. And we're gonna use a piece of tape to tape that down. Now, if you wanna open it and look at both sides and reference anything in there, that is there for you. Then we're gonna turn the page. We're not gonna put anything on page 2 for now, but we're going to cut out, mine is pink, but it's the Unit 1 describing and graphing linear tabs. So to cut these out, we just wanna go along the straight lines. So I'm cutting the whole rectangle out. And then I'm going to cut off these 2 small tabs. So anywhere there's like a solid line, we're gonna cut on that. Put my trash recycling off to the side. When you're finished, you should have 1 large tab and 2 small tabs. The 1 large tab goes here on page 3. So we're gonna flip to the back. You don't wanna put any glue on the actual sticking out part, and you'll see why in a moment. So we're just gonna use 4 dots of glue near the corners, not right at the edge, but sort of a little bit in so that it doesn't squish. And when we put this tab in our journal, we're going to do that so that the actual tab portion sticks out a little bit. It doesn't need to stick out a whole ton, but we want it to stick out a little bit because when we close our journal, now we can still see that. And so we'll be able to automatically open up to the page we need. So that is on page 3. Then we're gonna flip that over. On page 5, we're gonna take our tiny tab that says warm-ups and exit tickets. We're gonna put a small, thin strip of glue on that so that when we glue it in, again, slightly sticking out from our journal. Don't use too much or it'll gunk up all over. When I close my journal, I can already see my warm-up tab. This is where when you come in for the day, you see the warm-up on the board, you're just gonna answer it on here. Exit tickets are gonna get taped onto the back. We don't have any yet to tape in, but that's where they will go. Then we're gonna grab our notes and assignments tab and we're gonna glue that one on page 7. So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that these are not overlapping. We want our tabs to be spaced out so that we can see all 3 when they're closed. I can see describing and graphing linear. I can see my warm-up tab. I can see my notes. They're not right behind each other. They're spread out. Now, page 7 is gonna have the table of contents for unit 1. If you wanna label it right now, you can. We'll pass back papers, and as we pass those back, we'll put them in there. But it's gonna have your page number and your title for each of your papers that will get passed back. We're not gonna put in our page numbers just yet. We will do that as we go. All right, now what we're gonna do is we are going to skip all the way ahead in our journal to page 171. 171. I'm gonna open my journal a little bit more. On page 171, we're gonna cut out our, well, if you have Miss Caddy, your tabs are orange. If you have Miss Medina, they might be a different color, but we're gonna cut out that thin strip that just has some tabs on it. Okay, take my recycle, put it off to the side. All right. On page 171, we're gonna grab our data tracker tab. And we're gonna put a thin strip of glue on there. And I like to line my tabs up. You don't have to, but I'm gonna put it on this page so that it's pretty close to being lined up with my Unit 1 tab. So it's kind of sticking off the edge still. When I close my journal, it lines up, but I can still see my data tracker tab right there. That's page 171. If you're in class, you got your data tracker. It looks like, oh, I left mine over there. But you'll need to make that up in tutoring if you were not in class. So make sure you go to tutoring to fill out your data tracker. We're looking at our previous EOC results and seeing where our strengths and weaknesses are so we know what to target for each individual student. So that will go there, but you need to come tutoring for that. Flip over to page 173. On 173, we're gonna put the tab that says glossary. I'm gonna do the same thing, my one strip of glue, pretty much in the middle, lined up behind the first one, and just stick that tab down. So there we've got our glossary tab. Now is when we need that packet of vocab sheets. So a glossary is basically a dictionary for your class vocabulary. In this case, this is our algebra vocabulary. So you have 26 of these sheets, one for each letter of the alphabet. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tape each one onto one of those pages. So just one piece of tape, that way you can flip it over and you can use the back as well. So we're gonna tape those down one at a time until we run out of pages. I like to put my tape towards the middle of my journal always, because then when I flip it over, it's still on my journal. So like this one flips this way, I can still write with my journal behind me instead of it flipping over onto the table. And we're gonna tape all those in. Okay, so we have all of our glossary pages in here, and on those glossary pages, it has a space for the word, the page number. So if you have notes about slope, you can put the page number about slope and it'll send you there, a definition, and then a picture. On each of these pages at the top, you're gonna write each letter of the alphabet. So I have a page for my A words. There's B, C, D, yada yada. You all know the alphabet.
So when you come up with a vocab word that you don't know, or like you want to remember later, you can just go to that letter and remind yourself. You can write it on the page too if you want it. I just want to make sure it's not underneath so that I can see it when I flip to that page.
And that should bring me to page 198. Some examples of the words we might put in here. I might put 0 for letter Z. I might put X-intercept on my X page. We've learned a lot of vocabulary already. So if you were in class, we probably filled a couple of those in. If we didn't yet, we will. We're gonna put our last tab. It says formula chart. So we're gonna flip that over. Whoa. Put a thin strip of glue at the bottom. And we're going to stick that on the edge of the cover, just like we did with the other stuff. Now you have your actual formula chart. We're gonna put this in a place where we can use it all year. But we wanna put it so that it will flip out and we'll be able to see it no matter what page we're on. If I'm on this page of my journal, I wanna be able to see it right there. So when we are taping this in, we're gonna put it face down in our journal. Face down, and that tape is gonna go right here. So it's face down, but when I flip it open, no matter where I am in my journal, I can see that formula chart. I can see all my formulas, I can see my all my references, then I'm gonna have all my star test, and then when I'm done with it, or if I don't think I need it, I wanna try to remember my formulas, I can fold it back up and it's hidden from sight. Okay, the last thing you're gonna do, which was probably the first thing we did if you were in class, is on the little front of your journal, you're gonna put your name and you're gonna put your class period. So if you have Miss Caddy, your first, second, fourth, or eighth. I obviously have all those classes, so I'm gonna put all of them. But you'll just have one. So you want your name and your class period. And then your journal is done, except for that data tracker that you're gonna come to do in tutoring. And if I passed back any notes or assignments, you're gonna put those in based on your table of contents. Excited for a good year. Have a good day.